I love these panels. I think I need to make one. Maybe not this specific one, so let's look around. This one's really close. It's almost there. I think I need to find another one. All right, I think I found which panel I'm gonna build. I'm gonna build this one.
It wasn't often that Wylik Enritz was not by Braty's side, but this was no ordinary trip, nor was it typical times. The fall of the Empire made it for huge gaps for smugglers to do business. However, this new First Order had moved in and was strangling all trade routes. This was of course good for prices, but detrimental if one was to be caught. Once on world, Braty found a local Batuu garb to embody his new role in his new expansion of this business. Braty knew the town was closely watched by troopers of the First Order, so he had Wylik Enritz stay with the ship in case a quick getaway was required. This was the case from time to time.
Don't be killing anyone again. I won't be going in and saving you from the mobs again. You hear me?
Braty pretended not to hear Enritz, but he took his meeting. Not because Enritz meant it. No, their bond was too solid. But their need to make quick credits to make ship repairs and pay some debts on the outer rim would not afford delays. So stealth would be the weapon of choice this time. Braty's contact was Ikaj, and was known to frequent the local cantina. To slip in unnoticed, Braty would need to use the back entrance, which was obvious by the control panel that still currently was under maintenance. Apparently, the maintenance team couldn't get the right size switches.
All right, so I started this panel over a year ago, and I stopped really for one reason. I just didn't like how the hexagon tiles were coming out. To make the border, I was using a table saw and a miter saw. Well, when you're cutting thin strips of MDF, it gets pretty dicey. Your hands get really close to the blade, and I just didn't really feel comfortable. And when I found ways to make jigs to work around it, ultimately at the end of the day, it was simple enough when I started using borders that were straight 90-degree angles. But when you start to do the angles like this, it gets pretty dicey, and it leaves little gaps in between the border and the tile, and it was just frustrating me. So then I also kind of came into the problem of Garland and the Three Bears. This one was too small. This one was too big. Luckily, my friend Kelcie helped me out. I found out she has a glow forge, and in no time at all, she was able to make me the appropriate size, which is this. And I really like this a lot, so much so that I got excited and wanted to finish this panel. So here I go. So Kelcie, I just want to thank you for helping me on this project, because to be honest, if it wasn't for your help, this panel might not have ever been finished.
Braty entered the cantina without notice. There were several booths to the left, where several groups of locals were engaged in games of sabacc. Judging by the frenetic nature of the participants, the last thing they would notice was his business of this day. Ikaj was always known to be surrounded by droids for protection. The one at the door must be his lookout, and as Braty passed by, he furtively placed a blast charge on the wall beside the droid. Glancing over to the far back corner, a hooded figure with a large droid looming over him was seen. Such bold presence of droids in a cantina was not typical decorum, so this had to be Ikaj. And clearly, Ikaj had a reputation here and was not to be taken lightly. As Braty moved onward, he glanced to his left to see a former failed droid pilot turned DJ. From the sounds of it, a really good one. As Braty slipped into the booth, he deftly placed a restraining bolt on the back of the droid. Ekaj was a collector of droids. Some said he had his own droid depot where he assembled military-grade droids to the highest bidder. No questions asked. Maybe this was what this job was all about. Brady started by stating, "My ship is 2K north of the Resistance side of town. Not because I side with them, but they just had a whole lot less questions to ask. What's the job?" Ekaj eyes darted each way before speaking to ensure no one was near, then spoke in a low, raspy voice.
"The Hutts want 20 of my customized battle elite droids. They are currently in one of my stash houses in the Bakura mountain ranges. Deliver them to the Hutts in less than 5 rotations of Coruscant, and I'll pay you enough credits to buy yourself another ship."
I believe we have a deal. If you enjoyed this build, click these links for more videos